Hello and welcome to the PolyInnovator Gaming channel. I'm leaving it in. So today I wanted to talk about my games I want to play in 2026. Now, ideally I would have made this video about a month, maybe even 2 months ago, but I thought, better late than never. So essentially this is just a fun little video just to kind of talk about. I'm also going to make this into a blog post too. I think that's actually where the real meat of the content's going to be, because in the video I'm going to try to share some screenshots on the searches because I didn't have any footage to put into the B-roll. But I just wanted to talk about some games that I wanted to play, because there's a lot of things that I've been wanting to play for a while, but I think I'm actually going to be able to make the time to get to my backlog this year. So I'll share my screen here. First off, I actually just started this the other day on my Legion Go, and it's Ghostwire Tokyo. It's one of the few games I got for free on, I think, Epic Games Store, and I got like I say few games. I got like 90 games for free on Epic Games, and so I had a lot of games I wanted to play on there, like Control, or even like Borderlands 3 and stuff like that. That I was like, I probably want to get around to at some point. But this one in particular really, like, I don't know, has a very inspiring visuals, and I was really excited to. Oh, you can't see it. I need to move this over, I think, or something. Okay, now it's blank. I hate freaking ultra wide screens. It makes it so hard to do shared screen. There we go. So now you can see the screen. So it has a really beautiful game style and design, and the whole game looks like that. Like that. Like I played it on my Legion Go, and yeah, it was a little bit laggy because I was like trying to play it at high settings. I think I turned down the fidelity a little bit. It started running pretty fine. Besides the heat and fan noise, which the Legion Go is going to have regardless, it ran just fine. And like the reflections, the lights in the city, it's just so cool of a looking game. And I've been wanting to play it for a while. And whenever it first became free on Epic Games, I don't think I had a computer that could really run it. So I was like, I'm going to get it no matter what. Definitely get games on Epic Games Store when you can. The next game is something I'm actually been trying to play a little bit here and there, but I need to actually sit down and play it for an extended period of time, and that's Story of Seasons, Friends, and Mineral Town, and maybe Wonderful Life as well. But essentially, this is a remake of the game I grew up with, and I just really enjoyed playing the Game Boy Advance version of this. Not to mention, too, just even like A Wonderful World or Harvest Moon DS and that kind of thing. Like back in the day, like this was. I'm looking at the map now. I actually used to make maps, not like this, more of like the Game Boy and DS style maps. But seeing this is making me want to go back and remake those maps with the new style, because this is like beautiful. And it's just a colorful, fun, lively game that just lets you kind of relax a little bit. And I think that that's kind of the point there, where you want to be able to have that experience of just playing the game and having fun, and just having that cozy experience, experiencing these events that you see between characters, stuff like that. So the next one, kind of changing things up, is Cassette Beasts. So I had a lot of Pokemon clones, and on this channel, I wanted to create my own Pokemon game, basically, right? I called it Phase Evos, which you can learn more about on my website. I talked about it on there. And Phase Evos was a unique unique way of going about it, is what I'm trying to say. And I think Cassette Beast is also made in Godot, which is what I was planning on making in. So I need to get around to actually playing this and seeing how it performs and just seeing what it's like. I don't think it's as fun as Coromon from what I've experienced. I've only experienced a little bit of each of them, but Coromon has a pretty fun experience already in the way it starts out. And so you can kind of see the differences between Pokemon and Coromon there. Like that's the battle in the 2D sprite era versus this. Now, granted, I think this is actually not a fair comparison. I think that like they need to be comparing, like, shame on you, Game Rant. You need to be comparing the DS version compared to this. But yeah, I think that's gonna be a fun game, and same with Cassette Beasts. And finally, the last visual I'm going to give you before I just start talking about games is Octopath Traveler 0. So essentially speaking, this game is a just pleasure to enjoy. Like the whole game series is a pleasure to enjoy. And so I've been really wanting to play this. I finally got my hands on it. I need to actually sit down and get into it, because I just know it's going to take 200 hours for me to get through. So that's the last visual I want to share today. But I'm going to talk a little bit more, because on the Legion Go, it has allowed me to make my gaming more fun and more convenient. And that is where I wanted to kind of go into a little bit today. This is not a Legion Go video, but the fact that I can put pretty much all of my AAA PC games on here, and then on top of that, also play my retro games and have maybe like a better experience. So for example, I own Diablo 2 on the Battle.net store on Xbox, and I've definitely owned the original PC version many times over the years. like for a variety of reasons, I had to obtain Diablo 2, like paid, like legitly. I know that's a very pirated game. I just want to mention, like, very legitly, but it's not necessarily the most compatible, especially with Diablo 3 too. Diablo 3 does not have a controller support on PC, and I think Diablo 2 might have the controller support, but it's probably not as good. But if you get a particularly portable version from a console and play that, it can be completely natural on a controller handheld. So you just have to get a different version. Even if you already own the game, you just get a different version, and now you have controller support. And so things like that to really make things up. And I think that Octopath is also another game in that kind of line of RPGs. It's not an ARPG, obviously, it's a JRPG, different games. But I've always been a big fan of RPGs, and I want to be able to just sit down and sink my teeth into some of these games. So that's what I'm going to focus on for the rest of this video here. I think that this year is the year where I finally get around to playing a lot of the games that I wanted to play. I spent a decent amount of time in January actually trying to mod Skyrim for the first time in many years, and I think the last time I actually actively tried was like 2018, which seems not that long ago, but that was 8 years ago. And the crazy thing is, I've said this many times on this channel, that's one of my major motivations behind computer gaming and building computers, was trying to mod Skyrim and play it. And then even when I had the computers to do it, I never did it, besides the one time in like 2018. And it was frustrating because I think there might have been like an issue with a mod, and I just gave up. And even though I played it for a few hours, I changed something and then it messed it up. And I was at that point, I gave up. And then recently, when I tried it in January, that same thing happened where the mod list just wasn't working. I finally got back to it, I think in February, and started playing with it again. But then I decided to put Bazite on my Legion Go, and it wiped my drive, which was what I wanted to do. It was my decision, but now I have to start over again. So that's kind of like, oh, that's probably why I'm not going to do it. So, but eventually I do want to get into Skyrim and Fallout modded again. I think that'd be really fun, especially play on portable. And I actually got Morrowind to work on Legion Go. So fun little fact is that, like, the regular PC version doesn't have controller support, despite the fact it was released on, consoles, and there's probably plenty of mods, but modding on Linux is not as ideal. So what I realized, though, is that there's the Morrowind, like, OCW or something like that, which is the open source version of it, and you can actually get it on like Android or on like the Retro Pocket, for example, using that open source version. But there's also that open source version on just regular stores, like on the Linux Flatpak and App Image stores. And so I downloaded the Morrowind open source version, which you just put the files, you like link it to the files that you already have installed, and then that's it. Like, it just works. And so now I have controller support on Morrowind without having to actually mod it. And I think games like that I just haven't touched. I never actually played Morrowind, despite the fact I owned it on Xbox. I never actually played it. So I think that this would be a great way for me to finally get around to it. Same thing with the Retroid Pocket. That might be an alternative. I'm actually kind of interested in playing the Daggerfall Unity Edition. I think that'd be a lot of fun, because I definitely want to explore the entire reaches of Tamriel. So a lot of retro games is definitely on my mind, especially since I haven't played Mega Man Legends in a while. I definitely want to replay Legend of Dragoon, and having it on a nice handheld like this might be motivating to do so, or plugging it into the TV, stuff like that. Like the fact that that's so compatible, different stuff like that. Like, I need to play it portably, I can plug it into the TV, which Windows never could. It was because of Bazite that I'm able to do that. And I think even hooking up to the eGPU is also because of Bazite. Windows just did not really detect it at all. Or it did, but like, it gave me a hard time with the drivers. So the fact is, there's a lot of games that I want to play that are new, like Octopath Traveler 0. I mean, that's only semi-new. And there's also some other games coming out, like, what is it called? Threads of Time, that I would love to play. And I would like to stream these games. So my goal right now is to create content with this content blitz that I'm doing. You can learn more about that on my content creator channel. And then I also want to release my PIOS template for Obsidian, which you can learn about on my main channel, which is a knowledge management system for polymathic people, and really just anybody, because it's a very much adaptable system. But the point is, these other endeavors are taking up my time and focus. And even today, I have like 6 things I want to make, and this is one of the ones I've been putting off for a while, so it's the first one I'm working on. And I definitely think I'm going to get a little bit more in detail in the blog post below. Sometimes when I make these video blogs where they're like a blog post and a video at the same time, sometimes I make one or the other first, and then I make the other one afterwards. And the second one is usually the more detailed one, because I already processed the thoughts. I made this video first because I didn't know how I wanted to go about doing it, and I just wanted to share with you what I'm expecting to play. I think that's where I'm going to end it. I'm definitely excited to play these games, and I hope that maybe I can actually stream them so you can actually see what I'm doing. But if not, I'll probably just make some clips and share those too. So thanks for watching.